Hello again. This is Spider Rider Kev, and
this is Anne.
And we've just been to the Bronze Eagle Road to Honor in Crescent, and now we continue the journey up to the Freedom Rock in Missouri Valley, and now we're heading out to Minden to see the Stars of Honor, all part of a 90-mile ride that we're doing today on the 7th of December. We've just turned off the Highway 30, I believe it is, and we're heading roughly east. It's a nice little ride through the countryside, this one. So you can see the sky is a beautiful mixture of blues and greys. It's a chilly day. It's supposed to get up to about 50 degrees,
but we're prepared for it today.
We're prepared for it to be cooling off later today. So this part of the ride is probably the key time in the afternoon. It's probably about between 2:30 and 3:30 right now, I guess, as we ride along. The roads are often flat, straight, usually in good condition, very good condition. There's hardly any traffic on them, and you'll see we'll get a mixture of ups and downs, and it's a pleasant ride. All the crops are out of the fields now. They've all been cleaned out before the winter, and we're just going to cruise along and enjoy the ride again.
What do we have? About a window of about 2 hours for the ride until it gets pretty chilly.
And I think we're going to run past that. I think we're going to run into the chilly evening, but that's okay. We're ready for it. As we go along here, you can see that the traffic is very, very light, and the views themselves, the roads just go on forever into the distance. As you can see, we're just coming over a railroad crossing right now. Nothing coming. These rail tracks do carry long trains, 1 or 2 miles long, so you can, if you get stopped at one, you've got to be prepared to wait for a while. And sometimes it's quicker to go around, but this is nice Iowa countryside. You can see that there's a mixture of flat fields, and as we look in the distance, the road is just about as straight as you can make it. In England, we'd call it a Roman road because it's so straight.
Say that again. A what?
A Roman road, built by the Romans. They used to build the roads very straight.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So America's sort of adopted a grid system of roads, and a lot of them tend to be very, very straight. And they have these ups and downs, so it makes it very interesting. You could get really good views as you go over the top of the crest of the hills there. And often they're built up slightly because we're running through what were probably big old sand hills billions of years ago, and they formed into these, I guess you could call them huge sand dunes, but they've weathered down over the years. And so you get this rolling hill effect. They're not incredibly high, but they do give you a nice view over the top as you go through. As we go along, occasionally I'll try and swing the camera from side to side and give you some better views. But for the moment we're just going straight ahead, so it's all looking much the same. Just sit back and enjoy the ride for a while. I've got some music I'll play in the background later, just to give you something to listen to, and I'll just be quiet for a little while.
It's also very enjoyable for the passenger for a ride on these roads. Very peaceful and relaxing.
So you can see now a very nice wide landscape view. The fields usually have corn or beans in them. They're the two main crops out in this part of the world. The fields are often terraced because of the sand dune effect. They're the little hills, so they scallop them out into steps so that they can be more efficient for farming. And you'll notice that as we go through. Here's another one going down the hill and coming back up the other side.
Right.
But it's just a very relaxing road, and just a joy to be on this December day. There's a nice view out to the left, and it's similar on the right hand side. You can see some slight bluffs and gentle hills.
You know, this is
Rising.
a very appropriate day to be going for a ride out here because it's December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes, so it's a very appropriate day to be visiting war memorial sculptures and rocks.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good point. I'd actually forgotten about that, so I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, so we're just riding along, looking into the distance, but generally just taking a nice little look around to see what's going on. And the sky is just amazing again. This is all on the same day. It just changes so much over a period of time. You know, an hour or two ago it was fairly sullen and blue, and now we've got it widening up into this startling cloud formation.
I know, it's really changed in such a short period of
Hasn't
time.
it just, yeah. Now look at that for a view down the road there, look. And over to the left there, you've got cattle grazing in the field. All the cattle, this part of the world, they'll put them out in the fields to graze, especially after the corn's been in. It's nice to see cattle and animals out in the fields where they belong, and you know, one way or another, I'm sure it's good for the cattle. So there's quite a bit of wildlife. You have to be careful as we get closer to the evening. They tend to get deer running out across the roads and things like that. So you've got to be very wary of that once it becomes dusk. Now there's an old little barn at the side. Lots of little old buildings that date back probably 50 to 100 years or more. Some of them, these farms have been here forever.
Oh yes.
And they're nice in the like this time of year, just before the snow comes. But I wouldn't want to be out here with the snow and all that brings. You tend to be a little bit isolated and possibly cut off from time to time. But I mean, look at it. Even looking backwards, it's just a gorgeous view backwards with the clouds again. And just past the cemetery there on one side and a church. I don't think it's going to be that long before we're starting to get into a sunset, but I think we'll get around a bit further.
It looks like we're almost on the edge of that.
Yeah. So the trees definitely completely leaf free, I would say now. There you go. There's a nice open space.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. Now this is so much different. If you wouldn't realize it, but you're actually not far off I-80. From here, it's just a little bit further north, and this being one of the back roads, it would have been one of the arterial roads, you know, before the interstates were put in, and so it's an excellent road, and they maintain them so well, and just perfect for riding. This one, I think, looking at the way I'm just getting a little bit of shakes and bumps going on there. I think this one's got a little bit more of these. You can probably see them in the
what kind of the dips?
Yeah, you can see the tar joints where the expansion joints are being put in. So there's a little bit of a slight bump on there, but the Spyder's absorbing it really well. and it's nothing really much at all. It's not like going to bounce you off the track or anything like that. It's hardly noticeable. It's just you can see it in front of you as you ride along, but there's very little in the way of patching on the road. You can see a little bit there. Mostly it's just excellent. A few houses again just sit out on their own, basic in the middle of nowhere. How ideal is that? I'm sure that would be idyllic for many people. That's lots of people have that view of living out in the countryside. Well, this is what it's like if you're living out in the countryside. Of course, you're away, some ways away from hospitals and stores and all that sort of thing. You know, it's probably 20, 30 miles to the nearest hospital or store or whatever you want, apart from the little towns. And the little towns are like the places that people go to, and the communities there are tremendous. They're very, very friendly people. You usually have places you can go and eat, and you can sit and relax and eat. You can get sort of coffee or whatever, and enjoy the company of people that live there. If you want to take a little break along the way, which we always do. We plan, don't we, to go to these little small towns.
Yeah, absolutely. We found some real gems.
Yeah. Now the bins at the side of the road there, these round galvanized grey ones coming up on the right there, they're actually corn grain bins, and a lot of them are a lot taller. In fact, that one to the left, it looks new, and that would be because when we had the tornadoes going through during the summer, a lot of those got ripped out and thrown half a mile away down across the field, just blown away. So you'll see some newer structures going in from time to time, but you'll see grain bins everywhere, because obviously they initially, when they take the corn out of the fields, they store it in the grain bins, and then trucks come along and gather the corn and take it into Council Bluffs and places like that to get it sent on its way for various purposes. Now, how about that for a view? Wouldn't it be nice to have a house somewhere just there?
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know how long that road is, but you can see it's just amazing. Again, little place on the side. It's got its grain bin. It's got a modern house there. Couple of grain bins. Place to store all your tractors and things. More grain bins at the side here. Again, a newer one. A couple of older ones. One looks like it's had some repair, corrugated sheets put into it. We're in the heart of the corn country, you might say. Nice little stream went by.
When I was growing up, I would have loved to have lived on a farm.
Yeah, there you go. 3 more bins. They look like older because they've not got the yellow, not got the silvery look on them. They've got the slightly older look of galvanized steel,
right,
as it ages. But look at that nice little house set back there in the background there. It's gardens and things, a couple more houses. I'm not sure if that was a swimming pool we just went past there.
Oh, could have been.
Well, it certainly looked blue. I'll have to look back at that. So, how are you feeling on the back seat there? Is it still?
It's really
warm?
It's warm enough, and the sheepskin is wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd recommend a sheepskin for anyone that
Yeah, I think it's
is riding
amazing.
one of
I think
these.
it's amazing too. I'm just so surprised that it makes so much difference. What they call those, the aches that go down your leg, sciatic nerve.
Yes.
Yeah, mine usually bothers me when I first got the Spyder, the right leg. Normally I get it in the left leg, but the right leg was starting to play up after about 100, 150
Yeah, I do
miles.
too, but I think the sheepskin has really helped.
Has helped that an enormous amount. It makes it more comfortable as well. There you go, a nice flat field with more grain bins.
Right, it keeps you warm and comfortable.
These grain bins here are quite small. You may see some much taller ones, huge ones in some places.
Oh yes.
But these are just for the smaller farm fields, and typical farm just set back there. And again, lovely view. How about that? There's the terracing I was talking about earlier. You can see how it's stepped down.
Oh, yes.
You might
Look at
see
that.
it. You might see it in more detail. Yeah, they cut through the ridge there just to push the road through. But again, more terracing. But terracing gives you an area of flat parts to farm on rather than having slopes, which could be dangerous to run a tractor along. So by terracing it, stepping it down, they can make greater use of the area and make it more profitable for productivity and all that sort of stuff.
How do you think you'd be out in the country with your house being away from other homes and no neighbors? Do you think you'd be good with that, or would you like to be a little closer?
I grew up living in England out in the countryside there, and we weren't that far away. We were about 50 miles from the nearest large town or city. But so I'm a country boy by heart. I only moved into the city when I came and met and married you over here in Council Bluffs. But up till then, I spent most of my living out in the countryside or very close to it.
I think it's fine until you get maybe to a certain age where you have to have a medical facilities around.
Yeah, I mean that is the truth of it. We're both
just a helping hand.
Yeah, we're both in our early 70s now, and quite honestly, those of you who like us are in your 70s, you know you end up with hospital visits and checkups and all sorts of things taking up your week. I'm a cancer survivor. I've had prostate cancer, and it came back twice more. So I've had various treatments over the last 3 years, and fortunately now it's under control and seems like I'm out of it. So I just had a check, in fact, the other day, and I'm technically free of cancer, but you have to go in and be checked every so often, and it's the same for everything else. As we get older, we just have to have more treatment. But this riding is such a joy to do. I bought the Spyder deliberately. We did try a road trek when I first just came out the first round of cancer. We bought a road trek and I fitted it out with all sorts of solar panels and off-grid stuff so you could go on boondock, as they call it, and live out in the wilds over a period of times and drive around. But we found that wasn't really us. It was a little bit too confined for what we like, even though we do live in a tiny house anyway. But we found the road trek just a little bit too small for what we wanted. So I traded that in and got rid of it. And then once I'd finally got through all the rounds of cancer, I spotted one of these Spyders, a second-hand 2020 Spyder RT Limited Chrome Edition. And it is awesome. We just love riding around it. It's just a pleasure to be out riding. I mean, again, look at this. We're riding through the town, and you can stop and you can look around. And you see so much more when you don't have a roof on your car or truck or whatever. So now we're driving down through this little town here, and you can see that some of the buildings look fairly new, and that could be because some of them were hit by the tornadoes that ripped through here.
Most of the town that we passed on our rides look very similar to this.
Yeah, there's another monument there set back. We'll have to check that one out. That's just a simple one, but we'll check back there. And as I say, the towns sometimes are very small with a very low population, but if they've got a reasonable number of people, they get a gas station like a Casey's, and then some have coffee shops, and most have a bar, which is also can be a pub. And several of them, or quite a few of them that we've been to, also have places like halls that will do meals during the day at various times. So you've got the opportunity to get out there, and we do research on Google and all that sort of stuff and try and find places in advance. A lot of places close on Mondays and they operate until 2 o'clock most afternoons, most coffee shops and places like that. So if you're planning a ride, you need to be aware of that if you're looking for something to eat or drink, they will close. But of course the bars will be open, and they'll generally have burgers and things like that to eat. There's always a chance to stop and warm up and get either some coffee or a burger or something fancier than that as well. And you can get some really nice, what would I call them, pastries, and you call them?
No, I'd probably call them that.
Yeah.
I think you'd like to find some more some tarts or
Yeah. I'm just going to mention here as we ride along, you might notice along the middle and the side of the road there's like little divots, and they look like in pairs. I don't know if they have them on roads where you are, but they put those on Iowa roads especially to stop people dozing off. And if you start to drift onto them, you get the rumble strips, they call them, and your tires will start making a heck of a noise. If you start to doze off or lose concentration, they'll bring you back to life very quickly. So you can see them there in the various angles that I've got the camera working. You'll probably see them on the rear camera when I edit through later. They look like a strobing effect thing going on, but they're actually there for safety. They help you as well during nights and things like that when it's very dark, or if you've been blinded by the lights, you'll know that you're going near the edge or the center because of those simple, clever idea. I'm amazed that it's, I don't know when it was invented, but it's a lifesaver for people who live out on quiet roads.
I think they've been around for quite a long time.
Yeah, they're probably 20 years or more now, but I just wonder if having them right down the center as well as at the edges, to me is fairly new. This piece of road that we're riding on has actually been resurfaced, and it's like riding along on a billiard table. It's so smooth. Yeah, we're looking at cloud formation there now, and the sun, look, it's just starting to set on the horizon. So we're another long straight road. I can't remember what road number this one is. If I find out, I remember, I'll hook it up on the system. But it could be. I'm not going to guess because I'll guess wrong. If you know what it is, you can put it down in the comments. That would be great. If you're one of the local people watching this, put it down for me. I'm awful with names and places, and you might have noticed left and right. But I get there in the end, and yeah, just another beautiful ride there. And this one's got again a little bit more traffic. It's one of the ones that comes out northeast of Council Bluffs and heading that general direction, eventually towards I-80. Yeah, we're well up there. I'm actually. Here we are. I think, I just got into the town very quickly here, or the little, I call it more like a village, but the small towns over here.
I don't think we call any places villages.
No, I don't
really.
think we do really, but yeah, to me it is. So I've just pulled up and taken the camera off, stand on the trike. Behind me is a nice little bar restaurant type of place that is very popular. This is one of the towns hit by severe tornado in the summer, and you can look around. If you notice, if you look carefully, you'll see buildings missing the roofs and new construction going up. It's even worse a bit further down the road, where the tornado plowed through a whole section. It made the national news. So if you think back into the midsummer in the Midwest, this is one of the towns that it really plowed through. That building across the way, there's one down there that's missing its roof, and there's some up the side here which you'll notice have got new cladding or roofs on. But here we are. This is the Stars of Honor Eagle in Minden, Iowa, and it's still part of Pottawattamie County. It's a beautiful monument, this one. You can see they've got plaques all around the big plinth, seats all around it, and it's gorgeous. Again, great places for contemplation. And on Pearl Harbor Day, you said?
December 7th,
December
yes.
7th, yeah. So this is our little tribute day. It turned out to be by chance, but God gave us a beautiful day to come out and ride, so we made the most of it. And I like to sit and contemplate when I go to these places. I read the plaques and read about the various people who fought, served, died, were prisoners of war, all sorts of things. Some of the places have a lot of detail. But there you go. I'll put a clip of a close-up of the eagle.
Oh, that's a really pretty one, isn't it?
And you can see what they're like close-up. The sculptor,
Russ Christensen.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for watching. We're going to stop this video here, and
please like this video and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and we really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you very much. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.